I appreciate that since the IR35 reforms, there has been a shift in people saying, well, okay, well, we need to get these parcels of work done differently. We need to outsource them because the current way of doing it just isn't compliant and we're not going to be able to do it in that way. But surely there's a massive existing problem. And it's something certainly, but as a tech provider in this space, we're looking at services procurement, we're looking at statement of work. We certainly see it where when people actually audit their services procurement spend, not all of it is necessarily genuine statement of work or generally services that are procured. Is that something you guys have seen at all, or a company starting to address it?
Yeah, we're seeing a hell of a lot of that, and the more businesses I speak to, the more it's becoming a common problem. I think the response from most businesses to the IR35 change has been for HR or internal recruitment to lead the project. Obviously with interest from finance, from legal, little interest from procurement, to be fair. So it very much is sat in the staffing area of the business, which is right, because that's where most of the IR35 risk sits, because that's where you directly engage your contractors or you'll have agency supply chains. But once businesses have sorted that bit out, they then quickly realise that they're paying or using contractors who haven't been supplied through that HR or internal recruitment side of the business, but have come through procurement, for example. And when they start looking at that, exactly to your point, Johnny, they suddenly realise that actually what this business that has purported to be a service provider is acting very similar to the agencies over this side of the fence. And in reality, we're just buying labour from them. It's not a packaged service of work. So then procurement start to get interested, because this is where the hidden risk in the supply chains come. So we are starting to see, particularly in bigger businesses, procurement starting to show an interest in this, starting to try and understand the different types of service providers they've got across their business, and starting to pocket into, is that actually labour or is that properly outsourced services? And it can be quite hard to do that. And it's quite confusing for business. There's not a lot of guidance from HMRC out there. The legislation isn't very prescriptive. And I know from CBI meetings that I've been on recently, you know, some of the biggest businesses in the UK are citing this as the biggest issue remaining with their IR35 response programme, almost to the extent of asking for HMRC for further guidance, further clarity, relaxations in around this area until people can get their head around it. So it very much is a real hot topic boiling under the surface, I think.